Hey guys, finally got my Warmoth guitar in, and really excited to put it together. And I want to try to put a video together so you guys can see what you get, what to expect, what kind of problems you can run into, and how to fix some of those problems. I love the Warmoth stuff because I can get what I want, how I want, at a very reasonable price. You buy a Fender Deluxe and you're looking at $1,500 out the door, and for somebody like me with big hands, say huge hands, the standard 11/16 inch neck is just not wide enough. This way I go with 11 3/4, 11 7/8. It's a lot like playing an acoustic, but an electric. The other benefit to that is because with that big fat neck and all that wood, you get a really good tone out of it, which I like a lot. Jackson Charvel made a lot of 1 3/4 wide necks in the early to mid 80s, maybe some late 80s. A lot of people don't realize that they've got them, and they play really well with them. They don't give them up because that guitar plays so well. Well, because they're playing with the standard 1 11/16 or maybe even 1 5/8 neck on the other guitars. That extra fretboard, that extra width gives you a lot more movement, makes it easier to chord and things of that nature. So like I say, a lot of people don't know that they've got them, or they do know that they got them, they don't want to cough them up. I've been lucky, I've had a few of them. Unfortunately, I've gotten rid of them like a dummy. We've all done that at one point in time in our life. So basically, I want to grab the camera here in about a second. I'm going to show you everything that I've got. Unfortunately, my camera is not a high resolution. Being a true guitarist, I'd rather spend the money on the guitar stuff and less stuff on the electronics. Now, if you don't have a limited budget like I do, you can enjoy the best of both worlds. Okay. Yes, that's Iron Maiden playing Aces High in the background there. You need a little bit of mood music while you put a guitar together to put some mojo in it. It's Iron Maiden now. Probably some Dire Straits and a little bit after that. Maybe some old school Metallica, Megadeth. Toss in a little bit of Korn or Alice in Chains or something. So yeah, we're going to see if we can put some mojo in this guitar as it's being built. Again, assembling a complete guitar like this is not as hard as completely building one from scratch. Keep in mind, though, that it is not an easy task. You need some basic woodworking skills, because there are probably going to be some fit and finish issues that you're going to have to repair. There's going to be some fretting things that you're going to want to take a look at. And there's going to be a plethora of parts, and it's so easy to forget one little part that can stop the entire build. I actually had to get my parts from 4 different suppliers. Warmoth, obviously. I went through StewMac for my shielding kit. More about shielding kits in a little bit. I went through Accessories to get my Floyd Rose saddle shims. Again, we'll speak more about those in a little bit. And I went through... boy, I'm not a good plug for some of these people. Went through another company because I had to pick up a few other odds and ends. All parts. So I went through, I had to get a few pieces because StewMac was sold out of some of the pieces that I needed. So I'm going to pick up the camera. I'm going to show you guys pretty much what I've got here. Some of the parts that I've got are overkill. But again, there was my reasoning behind that. An example, I'm using a Floyd Rose with the locking Floyd Rose nut on a Strat head. And I still got the Planet Waves Diodario tuners with the cutters and everything, and the locking nuts, and it's overkill because I've got the locking nut on the neck. The big reason that I got that was because it adds more weight to the headstock. With more weight in the headstock, I get more sustain hopefully. I also ordered a brass trim block. Unfortunately, they only have those in a 37 millimeter. I couldn't find a 42. That's a big deal. The reason being is I'm using a non-recessed trim. I went old school with this. The non-recessed trims, a lot of people say, have a little bit more sustain and bite to them, or a little bit more length in the note, a little bit of different tone. My personal belief is the reasoning for that is not string height, it's not angle. It's because you got that extra bigger block on there. You got more weight. One other thing that I do is I also put a wooden block between my trim and the back of the body. Makes it dive only. A lot of times I like to play in flat tunings or drop D tunings. So I'm going to show you how to put all that in as well. They sell stops for the tremolos that screw into the body of the guitar. Got a little Allen nut you can adjust. Those work great. They do work great. But whenever you have a wooden piece of block that the trim's laying onto, you get more sound transfer into the body of the guitar. The trim stops, pat them, they work great. Again, you're not getting that transfer of the tone to the guitar. Now, I want to get as much as I can. The setup on this guitar, it's a hum single. I was torn between a true Strat with 3 singles or humbucking guitar. So what I did is I've ordered with a hum single configuration. Tone knobs are set up as a Strat, 5-way switch. I'll be splitting the humbucker so I can get that true Strat single coil sound off the bridge pickup as well as the humbucker sound. So yeah, the wiring is going to be a little complex. It's not too hard. Thankfully, Seymour Duncan, which is all the pickups that I'm putting in this, has a very good wiring diagram for that. It shows you how to wire that. So yeah, pretty much I'm going to grab the camera, I'm going to flip everything around, show you what I've got, what I'm working with, and how things go from there. Alright, so here we go. We're going to try to focus in on some of the parts that we got. This is a bag of stuff that I've got from accessories. That's my trim block. That's the felts for the strap pins. Obviously the guitar body that I've got to walk back to do for because I'm already zoomed out as far as I can, or zoomed in. Oh, no, I wasn't. I lied. It's real nice figuring. I mean, Warmoth does great stuff. Natural binding. Pit guard set up 4 Floyd Rose, hum single, and there you're going to see a mixture of the electronics, the potentiometers, the switch, knobs, assortment of screws, neck plate gasket, something I like to use. There's the pickups, all Seymour Duncan. Basically it's a Nico 2 Pro for the neck and the middle position. It is a Seymour Duncan custom trim bucker for the bridge position, because when you're using Floyd Rose like I am, you need that trim bucker. It's a wider space, and with that wider space, or the wider string spacing on the Floyd, you need the pulls to line up properly on the pickup. Got our original Floyd Rose, got all the accessories and everything that came with it. That's the 37mm block. I got the 37mm brass block. I can't talk today. Must not have had enough to drink. Got my copper shielding kit. Got my capacitors, my orange drop capacitors. I got those in a 22 and a 47 farad. And of course I've got the Shaler, I'm sorry, not Shaler, but the Planet Waves Diodario string lock tuners. And what you're looking at here is the Warmoth neck. That is an ultra rare piece of wood called Blue Smurf Maple. It's a very rare piece of wood. No, truthfully, what has happened at this point, I've gotten a little bit ahead of things. I've used some masking tape to tape off the fretboard and surrounding areas, because with the Warmoth necks and the fretting, they do a great job on the fretting. They get the angles right on the bevel, but they leave sharp edges on the bevel. So what I do is I mask it off. I use a little pin file to go in, just knock the edges off. And we're going to get into that here in just a little bit. That's pretty much you need. Now there's going to be an assortment of tools, and I'll tell you about those tools that you're going to need at this point in time.